hi. My dad once told me you'll most likely never become a musician, but you might be a decent guitar player. Now, I didn't know what he was on about at the time, but still, it stung. But, as it turns out, he was only halfway right. I'm not even a decent guitar player. But I've hung around enough musicians to seem to have noticed the lower common denominator. Because it seems like all they're on about is finding your sound. Now I can do that. Alright, finding your sound. Sounds easy enough. You just go to the store and buy all the equipment. There's easily 1,000 guitars out there. Different shapes, different materials, different sustain, different necks. And then there's pickups. You got different types. You got singles, you got humbuckers, you got different electronics and a vast array of setups. And then there's pedals. I mean, it's too many to even mention a few. And then there's amps. Don't get me started on amps. But that all adds up to a lot. A lot. But there's still this minute chance that someone out there is gonna end up buying the same rig as you. And in my case, that someone is gonna be a better guitar player, efficiently stealing my sound and being better at it. And that only leaves me with one option: building my own. Alright, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm going for a kazoo based design. And if you don't know what a kazoo is, it's basically a metal tube with a membrane attached to it, which vibrates over your bad breath and sounds as such. And this is what happens when you forget things in CAD. You're forced to do manual operations well into the build. And here you can see the exquisite tool that is a spade bit. In my projects, health and safety is always paramount. Here exemplified by me holding my hand right underneath where the spade bit is gonna punch through. Well, I'm only going for a partially sunk hole here, but you know, spade bits. This is my paint booth. It's well lit, well ventilated, And as this is midsummer in Norway, it's even at a decent temperature. And as you can see here, I'm using the IKEA pizza cheese revolving thingamajig. I just covered it in aluminium, or aluminum for you Americans out there, and it works like a charm. Now, I really like painting outdoors. Yes, you will get bugs in your paint, but that usually buffs out with some wet sanding. And here's the reason why the pedal got its name. The microphone holder looks like a teeny tiny Godzilla. You know, Godzilla, Kazilla, kazoo. You get it. And here's the finished result. Crimson red. Bob Ross would be so pleased. May he rest in peace. Happy trees. Now, this was the most nerve-wracking part of the process. The engraving. Because any screw up here is gonna send you straight back to building the piece all over again. And since this is a fairly new CNC, I'm not fully comfortable with it yet. As you can see by me holding my hand stupidly close to a fast rotating sharp metal bit. But full disclosure, this is my third iteration so far, so I'm guessing I'd rather lose an arm than the piece at this point. And now for some Maker's ASMR. Ah, beautiful. And look, didn't even peel any paint. And not even the tape. Beautiful. And then it's the final assembly. And here you can see me installing the speaker using a retainer ring. Now I could have built a full enclosure behind the speaker, but it's still just gonna push air through a tiny hole into a kazoo. It's not gonna sound good no matter what you do. And here you can see me putting down some tape as preparation for drilling the hole for the microphone cable. Now, full disclosure here, I went for the cheapest contact microphone the internet could provide. Efficiently building the most expensive feedback box. Now, try saying that fast 10 times in a row. I have been playing with the thought of going back and trying a different microphone. There is also kazoos out there with integrated microphones. Don't ask. That's just the kind of things I know. But I really wanted the metal one. For the aesthetics. It looks rad. And that's what counts. And since we're being honest, this is never gonna see any road time. It's gonna sit on my shelf in the workshop and be nice. Which it is. A nice kazoo is a quiet kazoo. Just like the recorder. But that's a completely different story. And here is an awkwardly long clip with me filling water on my soldering iron. But then again, I guess some people are into that kind of thing. Now, by this stage in the voiceover, I realized that this clip is way too long. Of course I could trim it down, but then again, I'm lazy. So here you can see some soldering. You can see the hinge for the flippy floppy pedal lid and the stomp switch. And in the top part of the screen you can see the tiny Godzilla hugging the microphone. Aww. Now the knobs I bought didn't sit flush against the body with the kind of pot meters I had laying around, so here you can see me delicately trimming them down to size. And as you can see, it worked like a charm, sitting flush against the body and looking nice. And again, not knowing when to cut the video short, this is just me playing around with pliers. The good news is that this is a last adjustments before final assembly and rigorous testing. And by rigorous testing, I mean crossing my fingers, hoping it will last long enough for me to make this video. Which we'll soon find out. If you bother to watch this far. I mean, then you could just stay to the end, right? And click that likey button. Maybe even subscribe. I can't guarantee that it's gonna be more like this, and I understand if you can't be bothered. But then again, it's a lockdown. You got anywhere else to be? I don't. And finally, it's completed. Looking all nice and shiny. But the big question remains. Does it sound as good as it looks? Yep, just showing off some old blues riffs there. A bit rusty, but it works. And now, for the moment of truth. Nailed it.